Okay, great. Welcome everybody to this monthly webinar by Joy Hamisha. It's called Whose Life Is It Anyway? It's a rhetorical question that we all have 100% responsibility for our lives. And through these webinars, we hope that you reclaim your power, you take that, you get that, you are empowered to take that 100% responsibility of your life. So we start the session as we do with all our sessions with a presence practice to ground ourselves, to calm ourselves. So I would request all of you to just go by my instructions. So keep your spine erect and your hands, palms open on your knees, either palms facing upward or downwards. Upwards in a sign of surrender and a sign of receiving. But if that's uncomfortable, then you can facing downward. Both feet firmly on the ground and your eyes are gently closed. Bring a gentle smile to your face. First thing we do is to relax our bodies. So scan and relax your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Let go of any tightness or any stiffness that you come across. Paying special attention to your shoulders, your eyebrows, are they knitted? Your neck, throat, chest, abdomen, back, knees, feet, hands, fingers. Just relax. Now that your body is relaxed, bring your attention to your breath. Again, just observe your breath. No need to regulate it in any way. As you breathe in, your abdomen will rise without fall. Then just notice your normal, steady breath. Now bring your attention to your mind and notice what all is running up in your mind, what scripts, what windows are open. And shut down all these open windows and apps kindly, gently, and firmly. Restore your mind to its clear, calm, and quiet state. Now become aware of your physical heart first. Feel its warmth, and then the emotional heart. Open your emotional heart as wide as you can to relate, to connect, and engage with others. Hold that heart up. And that you have a relaxed body, even breath, clear, calm, and quiet mind, and open heart. We have to be aware of our surroundings, to be in the present moment. So send out the antennae of your five senses to pick up all the subtle signals around you. Sounds, smells, textures, sensations, the energies that you may otherwise overlook. Now become aware of your energy field and slowly expand it to include all the people in this call and allow yourself to be included in theirs. Feel this warm, energetic embrace. Let's affirm. I have nothing to defend. I have nothing to promote. I have nothing to fear. The only reality of this moment is that I am here now. I am here now. Those who just joined, just doing a grounding exercise. So just calm yourself. When you're ready, your eyes gently. Rub your palms, your face, your arms, torso, legs. Get the circulation moving. Okay, so for all those who don't know me, I'm Anamika. I'm a cancer coach and a holistic well-being artist. Artist because I use a variety of modalities to help people paint their canvas of life. And I coach cancer patients having gone through this experience myself and having used cancer as a springboard for personal development. Joy Hamesha is my initiative that I started in 2017 after I went through that inner transformation following my journey with cancer. They say your greatest wound becomes your destiny, and that's what has happened in my life. So the mission of Joy Hamesha is to change conversations. Two types of conversations. One is the conversations around cancer, to go beyond fighting it and seeing it as an enemy, to embracing it, using it as part of the healing journey, and also to change the conversations around health and well-being, to go beyond the mandatory food, rest, and exercise to the emotional, mental, relational, and the spiritual well-being. So all the work that we do in Joy Hamesha is a holistic approach. So it's the physical part, which means, of course, food, rest, and exercise, age-related, hereditary, race, the environment, all that comes in the physical aspect. The mental aspect, which deals with the attitude, the values, the beliefs, the assumptions, the self-talk that we do. The emotional part is the blocks, the baggages, the conflicts, the the baggages, the blocks, the conflicts, that is that all the emotions that we go through. The relation part is the relation with our family, our immediate family, extended family, colleagues, friends, and the society at large, right? The community. Spiritual part is the existential issues, not the religious part, but what is my life's purpose? Does anything even matter? Who am I? Such questions, trying to deal with such questions. So that is in short what we do. And today we have Smriti. I think many people on this call already know her, but it's my honor and privilege to introduce Smriti Shivprasani, who is a remarkable woman, and who has, triumphed adversity and is a beacon of hope and inspiration to all of us. Smriti is a life coach and a transformation facilitator. She's certified as a dream builder coach and life mastery consultant, an access consciousness certified facilitator, and a facilitator of the life healing system. And with a lot of sympathy and understanding, Smriti creates a safe and nurturing space for individuals to heal, grow, and reclaim their power. And her unique approach combines profound healing modalities with insightful guidance, empowering her clients to overcome limitation and unlock their true potential. So welcome, Smriti.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anamika.
Stop sharing and now.
So firstly, thank you for having me
Yeah.
In this as a part of this conversation. And secondly, I want to say you're amazing, and it's so wonderful to see you doing the work that you do and using your experience to empower others.
Thank you so much. Today we are going to talk about your journey with cancer. And uh, one thing we both have in common is that I think we believe that we don't have to fight cancer, the word fight, right? We are fighting
Absolutely.
our own bodies finally. So uh, tell us, Smriti, how do you see your cancer journey? What is your perspective? With what lens do you see this six-letter word called cancer?
So mine is like an 11 years journey with multiple recurrences, surgeries, radiations, chemos, fourth stage, doctors giving up on me, me still being here around,
Awesome,
right?
awesome, awesome.
So the way I look at it, very honestly, when I was first diagnosed in 2012, I looked at it as a physical thing, right?
Mhm.
That is something that's happened to me at a physical level, and I need to get rid of it. That was the first
Correct,
approach,
correct.
the view of it. But then what occurred was a friend of mine invited me to meet up with a alternate healer. And this was just a little after surgery and radiations were done. And I went and met this person. And that was the first time I got to understand the mind body spirit connect. And I saw that what I'm experiencing is an imbalance of energies, and that imbalance occurs due to various reasons. Like you mentioned,
Mhm.
there is mental reasons, there are physical reasons, there are emotional reasons, there are spiritual reasons. Actually, spiritual is the big one, really,
Correct.
now that I know it. So to begin with, I looked at it as a physical thing. And then once I recognized that there's a mind body spirit connection, and which came from the world of alternate healing, I started looking at it as something that was like a door opening, like a wake up call for
Yeah.
me to really look at my life
Mm.
and who I am being, how I am functioning, what am I doing, how am I thinking, what am I feeling. And by and large, I was a fairly angry person, and like a whole lot of anger
That,
and resentment and grudges inside my system. So I had to take a hard look. And that's when I started looking at it as a journey in my own growth. Like as part of my Buddhist practice, we call it human revolution. So it
mhm.
was like a journey of human revolution that I had to embark upon. So from then on, I knew that this is not my enemy. It is
Mm.
an invitation, it is a gift in my life for me to straighten up my act.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
That's how I started looking at it. And since then, of course, my perspectives have deepened. I have been now teaching alternate healing, and of course, I coach people. And as a result, I mean, one cannot do any of it. You cannot empower somebody
Mm.
unless you yourself have done some deep exploration, loads of studying, coming to, certain understanding, having
Correct.
your own realizations, insights. Because as you start cleaning up your life, yeah,
Mm.
you start getting rid of, like what you talked about, the baggage,
Yeah.
your connection with who you truly are, which is an expression of, that divine intelligence which has created this entire universe. So you also have innate wisdom, etc., within you. You start getting plugged into it more and more, and that's what started happening for me. And uh, and so it's so my view shifted from physical to
Mm.
like, oh, I need to clean up my act, I need to get rid of my emotional baggages, etc. But then as time went by, and of course, I had, like I said, multiple occurrences, 2012, then 2018, 2019, and then, last year and all of that. So, as I kept working on myself and studying deeper and further, what I recognized was that any disharmony in our life,
Mhm.
whether it's in relationship, money, body, if it's a disharmony, right? When something is not going right.
Correct.
So, if there's a disharmony on the outside at the physical level, there's some disharmony going on within. And even that emotional disharmony, the mental disharmony, the root cause is spiritual disharmony.
Wow.
So it is when you are disconnected with who you truly are and what you're here to do. And most of us have no clue about who we are.
Right.
In fact, just this evening, I launched a program called Drop, which is
Yes.
about you becoming the sovereign you. Now, what is being sovereign? Sovereign is being the authority in your life, but you cannot be an authority in your life unless you know who you are, right? So I recognized that I was way off. Like I had forgotten the GPS, because we all have a GPS. That divine intelligence is our GPS. A higher self is our GPS. It guides us, but we don't listen. We follow our own,
Yeah.
whims and fancies and what we think we know and whatever. Anyway, so I did all of that. And I realized that I am completely off track. I'm completely out of alignment with who I'm meant to be, what I'm here for, and I'm refusing to stay connected with my power. So when I started addressing my spiritual disharmony, is when a whole load of healing that had not occurred up until now, I mean, it would happen, but you would be back to square one very quickly, started actually happening. So from being that person who was like very resentful, harboring many grudges and in pain and literally living in victimhood, now
Yeah.
I've changed my neighborhood. I don't
Great.
live in victimhood.
Super.
So I'm at peace today. I am happy today, no matter what is going on, no matter what doctors say, no matter whatever. So I have looked at it from all perspectives.
Hmm.
And all I know is that there's a power in us which has created this universe, which is breathing us, which is expressing itself through us. And it is bigger than the cancer, is bigger than any condition you may be facing in life.
Correct.
But you have to know that. And you have to be in that stream. You've got to be floating in that power for you to be that power, right? You have to be in that stream. So once you know that nothing is bigger than, who I am,
Mm.
your true healing begins to happen, because now worries drop, stress drops, doubts drop, fear drops, and trust comes in and harmony starts coming in. So this is how I have been looking at it, that it is my curriculum for growth. And through this curriculum, I will by and by, it doesn't happen overnight, but by and by, discover who I truly am and step more and more into my power, into the love that I am, into everything that I am. So it's a fabulous journey, and cancer is a door opener to a whole load of healing. That's
Mm.
what it is. It's a gift in my life.
Correct.
I don't look at it as something bad, something wrong. I look at it as an opportunity to grow into who I truly am. So I don't grudge it, I don't fight it. When people tell me, oh, you're a fighter and all of that, I said, I'm not here to fight. I'm here to grow with it. Yeah. So it's like a sacred friend, which
Awesome.
rattles you up and shakes you up and triggers you, but
Awesome.
eventually it holds good for you. That's the bottom line. So that's how I
Awesome.
see it.
Awesome. Sacred friend. And yeah, the spiritual disharmony is at the base of it all. And once you get that to in a harmonious place, I think everything else sort of falls in place. But that's your journey. It is and you yourself gone through a very long
Yes.
journey, right? And for most people, it is a long and arduous journey, even though it may not span physically that many years.
Sure.
So, what did you do to keep your motivation to say that it's okay that you know any tips to give people? I know you talked about the spiritual harmony, but people who have not reached there, what
Right.
can they do to keep that motivation to say it's okay, let me go through it?
So the first thing is to drop the resistance.
Mm.
and embrace it. It's here. You can't do jack about it.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we have not evolved so much that we can say abracadabra and boom, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've not ascended to the level of Jesus who, you know, could see the could see only the divine in you and only the health in you, and so he brought forth what he saw within seconds. We are not there yet, right? We are not instant manifestors yet. So we have to begin with first dropping that resistance, that let me not push this away
Mm.
and entertain the possibility. All I'm saying is entertain the possibility, because right now, when I used to tell people this initially in my journey, they say,
Mhm.
you're mad or what? How can you even say that this is, come on, you've got to fight this, right? How
Correct.
can you say that this is here for, what is good about this? Please tell me what is good about this. You're suffering, you're vomiting, you're puking, you're feeling horrible, and you're having all kinds of pain. So, what is good about this? How can you, so it's very hard to comprehend for somebody. How can
Mm.
there be a good in this?
Correct.
But, like Steve Jobs says, and I'm only paraphrasing,
Mhm.
that, you can only connect the dots in hindsight,
Mm.
right?
Correct.
So,
Correct.
you have to recognize that right now I'm in a dot. I
Okay.
cannot connect all the dots yet.
Mm.
So, just one, drop the barrier. Two, open yourself up to the possibility. I'm only saying open yourself up to the possibility that
Mm.
this holds some good in it.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that you can see the good right now, because you can't. Very honestly, you can't. You can only see the bad, 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 so called bad.
Absolutely.
And it's feeling at a physical level, right? So it obviously feels horrible. You're in pain, you're distressed, your body is in distress. So you can't see the good or feel the good. But
Mm.
open yourself up to the possibility that
Mhm.
there is some good in this. You cannot see it right now, but trust that there is good in it. The third thing, and this is all adopting these understandings, Anamika, because you have to remind yourself again and again. It's not like one time you say it and you'll feel it, but you have
Correct.
to remind yourself again and again and again
Mm.
that life does not happen to me.
Mhm.
Life always happens for me. This is a spiritual principle, that life will never happen to you, life will happen for you.
For you.
So, you and I are creators of our life. Everything that we are experiencing right now is part of our curriculum for growth in this particular lifetime, in this particular human embodiment. So, it is not something that has happened randomly or coincidentally. It has
Uh,
not happened because your lifestyle was bad, because you made some wrong choices, because you were an angry person, which screwed up your emotional balance and created energy blocks. All that was part of your soul plan,
Plan.
and it was chosen as part of it is your curriculum for growth in this school, on earth school.
Mm.
Okay, so that's the third thing. Take responsibility,
Correct.
that I am the creator of my life. Now, why do I say that? Now, you will tell me, now that's what people tell me, right? Because I've coached
Yes.
hundreds of people by now
Correct.
to know this question that comes up. Why would I choose cancer?
Mm.
I mean, I must have been drunk if you say that I chose cancer. Why
Correct.
would I choose cancer? Now, in this moment, as a human, you will ask that question. But when you created that experience for yourself to have when you were born and you were living, at that time, you knew who you were.
Mm.
You were very, very clear who you were. You were connected to the source which has birthed you. You knew you are bigger than the condition,
Yeah.
and you knew how you could grow from that scenario. And so you knew you'll do this. And
Beautiful.
so you made your collaborations with other souls, etc., to play their roles, come and create those triggers, come and create those hurt moments, pain moments, resentment moments, grudges moments. And you created beliefs, I'm not good enough, and la 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 la, all that. And then you created certain choices, which would be lifestyle choices, which would ensure that you would get to exactly where you wanted to get to. Now, I know this can challenge you and the way you think
Anybody.
and what you believe.
Yes.
But it was my acceptance of this possibility that maybe this is what was going on. If this is what is going on, then what can I do from there? So instead of feeling like a victim, I took charge as a creator of my life that yes, I created this experience and this experience is for my growth. This is my curriculum for growth and I am bigger than this because
Yeah.
ultimately I'm a child of God. I call that energy, that divine intelligence, God. You can call it law, you can call it source, you can call
Correct.
it creator, but there's something that has created the mountains and the forests and the
Ab-
sun and the moon and the planets. There's something, it resides in
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
So I took complete responsibility. And I'll tell you another reason why one must take complete responsibility for this experience that you're having, which is called cancer. If I am not the creator of this,
Yes.
and if I do not claim my power as a creator, can I also create the healing then? Can I create the good then if I don't acknowledge myself as a creator? Then
Correct.
I'm always going to be at the mercy of someone or something
Correct.
to create anything in my life. And I'm always going to live as the effect of somebody and something outside of me instead of being the person who stands in their power, knowing that I am the source of my reality. I create my reality with my thoughts, my beliefs, my actions and everything. So now if I have chosen this as my journey, I can now create a new experience from it. I can find myself from this. And most importantly, the bottom line comes down to I am love. I come from love and I return to love. And while I'm here in my human embodiment, my whole journey is about remembering that I am love and being that love.
Beautiful.
So your relationships challenge you to love when you actually want to hate or you want to slap somebody, right?
Yeah.
Or shake them up, right? Your work, your money challenges, they
Yeah.
challenge you. So
Absolutely.
all our challenges eventually boil down to this, that for you to remember who you truly are. And which is why I said ultimately the source will be spiritual imbalance because you've forgotten who you are. You're not being the love, you're not being that kindness, you're not being that compassion. I wasn't. When I'm hating you, I'm separating from you. And when I'm separating from you, I'm separating from the source because you are an expression of source.
Source.
So
Yes.
if I am not connected to you, I'm out of the oneness loop.
Correct.
I'm out of the stream of consciousness, of that power, that intelligence, that wisdom, that creativity. I'm out. I'm separated. I'm not in my power. I'm not in my wisdom. I'm not in my, all of that I truly am.
Sure.
So take charge, take responsibility as the creator of this experience, and that it is for your good, for your growth, for your healing, not against you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then the other attitude that I had to develop, or I developed, and I continue to develop it, is something that I learned in the Bhagavad Gita studies that I do.
Okay.
Because I do study a lot. I study Buddhism, I study Bhagavad Gita, I study Jesus' teachings. So,
Right.
and they all talk about this eventually, right?
Yes.
In some way or another. But in Bhagavad Gita, there's this concept of prasad buddhi,
Yes.
where you receive everything in your life as prasad of Ishvara, right? So to be able to receive everything with equanimity, knowing that life works for me, not against me, it doesn't happen to me, it is for me. And that is prasad buddhi, dropping your resistance and receiving everything as an expression of that divine grace, which has led me to this particular situation in my life so that I could remember who I truly am.
We'll have to create one nice little diagram to show all these interrelationships. But I think what you said was very profound in the sense that if I did not create the illness, how can I even take responsibility for creating the healing? I
Yes.
think that was a beautiful concept. And the fact of the prasad buddhi, right? Most of us, we never say no to prasad, whatever it might be. We may not like the prasad, but it's blasphemous to say no to prasad.
Right.
And if you take everything as prasad, then there's nothing to refuse, nothing to fight, and nothing to resist.
Right. So I
Absolutely.
lean into all of this, knowing and understanding and reminding myself again, because there are times when you're suffering so much that you forget all this. So it's a
Absolutely.
constant daily thing. And of course, then the next thing is at the physical level, when I'm going through whatever I'm going through,
Hmm.
to be able to breathe in that moment, to remember to breathe,
Hmm.
and to use like certain commands. And also, like what I do is, when I come back, say from the hospital, and I'm pretty
Hmm.
washed out,
Hmm.
maybe I'll take a day or two to rest. But then what I do is, I I do something that I love. So for me, painting is one of the things that I
Yeah.
really love,
I
right?
was coming to that. Yeah. Your lovely paintings. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do is I paint. So all of us love something. It could be watching some beautiful movie, watching stand-up comedy. It could be, just sitting and looking at some plants or trees. It could be painting. It could be listening to music. Whatever it is that you really love, go there, do that. Like, even if you can do it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day, do it. Take care of yourself. Like, you know, do what you love, because it'll help you feel more relaxed, more de-stressed, etc. It'll take your mind off all the
Of.
discomfort that is going on in the body. Yeah. I'm not
Hmm.
much of a conversationalist when I'm recovering. I
Hmm.
like my silence, I like my space. So, but I do all of this to go beyond the physical discomfort that I am feeling. And of course, I use certain protocols, processes, which I teach as well for my
Correct.
own body. I have my team that also runs processes for my body. So
Hmm.
do whatever creates ease for you. And another
Hmm.
thing that I highly recommend is learn to take help. Because what I have seen is cancer, by and large, if you look at the people who are going through it, they
Hmm.
have a history of being givers, not receivers. They
Okay.
have a history of being there for others, but not being there
For
for
them.
themselves. They have a history of not being cared for, not
Yeah.
being loved enough, not being supported enough, right? And there's like a whole lot of kurkur kurkur inside. Even though you may not say it outside, but
Hmm.
there is a whole lot of it going on inside. And there's also another history that I see with a lot of people is stress. Their life has been highly
Hmm.
stressful, right?
Hmm.
They've had many challenges or many responsibilities. Life has bogged them down. So now, very often, one of the purposes of cancer
Hmm.
is to learn to be loved and cared for and supported, because
Wow.
you've not been a receiver, you've been a giver, giver, giver. And there's a law where energy has to be balanced.
Correct.
So if you've been a giver, 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 giver prominently and less of a receiver, 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 now you've
It's
been
the
put in a
time.
position where you need to receive. You're forced to learn to receive.
Hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And another invitation, and this is one of my biggest practices, is to bring love into everything. Because I'm somebody who hated, who resented, who grudged. A big part of my life, I did that. I
Hmm.
wasn't necessarily being loved, because I remember when I was very small and I
Hmm.
was like much younger. I'm not saying very small, but maybe younger adult. I was very loving. And when I was very loving, I used to end up bringing a whole lot of random people into my home and stuff like that. And I would get pulled up, and, you're naive and you're stupid and you don't know, so
Yeah.
I had no barriers to loving, but then I was made so wrong for it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And rightly so. I mean, not rightly so, but I now know that it came out of a place of love. That,
Hmm.
don't get taken for a ride, don't be naive. I understand that today. But at
Correct.
that point of time, I believed that what my loving nature was a wrong nature. And
Hmm.
so I had to shut it down. And I completely shut it down. So I like went to the other extreme. So
Correct.
now I had to bring that back. So bring love back into your life. Love is what heals you.
Yeah.
You know,
They
let
say
go.
Yeah, they say that whatever be the question, love is the answer. So it doesn't matter what the question is. So any tips on how to start this process of getting love and how to stop hating? Hate is there everywhere, right? I mean,
Yeah, there is hatred or resentment, if not hatred,
mm,
resentment, the lesser version of it.
mm,
So this is how I look at it,
mhm.
and this is what I've studied. And I have, I realized that forgiveness plays a very big role in your
Ah,
healing. Okay. Now, I also have trained as a radical forgiveness coach, and
okay.
I'm in the process of becoming a radical living master coach.
Wow.
So, besides being, of course, life mastery consultant and dream builder coach, etc. So, I recognize that what started changing my inner environment was forgiveness, because if you break up the word forgive,
Mhm.
for and
Yes.
give, okay, so forgiveness is for giving way to a new perception. Yeah, so you have right now a current perception that this person is horrible and da 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 da. So I hate him, or I don't like him or her. I'm not
Got it.
saying him alone, him
Yeah,
or her,
yeah,
both. Okay,
sure.
so there is a perception, right? I have of this person, which makes me hate or be angry with this person.
Mm,
Now, this perception is what is blocking your heart from being the love that you truly are.
correct.
So, forgiveness is giving way to a new perception where you can see the other person as a divine being who at a soul level contracted with you to come and play that role,
Role.
so that it can mirror to you something about you that you don't love and you judge about yourself and you have separated from. And now, by forgiving this person, because you're part of oneness, you
Mm,
forgive yourself, you love that part of you that used to behave like that. So, a lot of behavior that triggers us and because of which we hate the person
mhm.
are behaviors which are mirroring to us those parts of us which we have rejected either in this lifetime or another
Oh,
lifetime. So, there's so much anger and pain and hurt for having been that kind of a person in some time,
mm,
that we repress that pain. And when we repress it, what do we have to do? We have to project it on somebody or something. And so we contract with somebody that you come and play that
play that.
same role that I used to do, which I hate about myself, but
Yeah.
I know that hating myself means I'm rejecting me, who's a divine child of God. So now you come and play that role in my life, and maybe I will remember, because that's the reason why we are made to forget our
Mm,
past lives when we are born. There's a
mm,
reason why we are made to forget, because we have taken on now this challenges
mhm.
to be able to remember who we truly are and to remember oneness and to then truly appreciate oneness. So we learn from contrast. That's why we choose earth, because earth is what gives you contrast. There's polarity on earth.
Correct.
There's no polarity in other parts of the universe. So you choose to come to this school so that you can experience polarity, and through that play of contrast you then come to have that appreciation of oneness. So this person comes in, mirrors to you, and if this person doesn't achieve the mission,
Mm.
then another person
Another
comes,
person.
then another person comes, till one day you say, what is really going on here? Why
Correct.
is this pattern in my life? And then you'll come across somebody who may give you an insight, or you will come across this insight on your own, and you say, oh wow, this is what's happening. This person is in my life because this person is mirroring to me a part of me that I have rejected, and now is giving me an opportunity to recognize that we are all divine beings. We all want to experience all kinds of roles, because that's part of a soul evolution. So in some lifetime I was a rapist, in some lifetime I was a murderer, in some lifetime I was a teacher, in some lifetime I was a man who really tortured women. I did. So I can tell you that by my current life, that that's what I did. Right. So you recognize that those are all part of my journey of soul evolution, which I wanted to experience being all of that, because I'm an infinite being. I can experience being infinite things, right? So
Correct.
now I don't have to hate myself. Now I don't have to reject myself. And now I understand the role that this person is playing. And I love and forgive myself. I love and forgive this person. And so what happens is forgiveness removes that block in your heart that does not allow you to be love. Now, the other person can also be coming in because there's a balancing of energy that is happening. That
Okay.
person can also be playing a role because you wanted to have a new experience in this lifetime. So there could be multiple reasons. There are by and large a few reasons. So we choose that in this lifetime, I'm going to heal this belief in me, or I'm going to heal this particular energy. Like I'm going to experience anger, and then I'm going to use my circumstances and transform anger into love. So you may have chosen to transform a certain energy. You may have chosen to have a particular wound that you want to heal. So, like for me, the wound was abandonment.
Okay.
So, there was a point of time when my dad got posted in a little village, right? It was a private job, and the factory that he was supposed to manage was in a village, and there was no English medium school there. And so, obviously, my parents did the best that they could, and they found a beautiful boarding school for me. But at that point of time, when they like I literally say, they left me. Like
Mm.
as a 10-year-old, when I was standing on those grounds and I could see my parents walking away, I felt abandoned. So because I wanted to experience an abandonment wound, now I understand this, of course. That time I didn't.
Yeah.
So,
That
so
time it was like a dot, as you were saying. You couldn't connect it
I
at that
couldn't
time.
connect the dot. So I wanted to experience that abandonment, and which is why I chose parents who would ultimately land up in a
Mm.
village and who would have to put me in a boarding for me to experience abandonment. Right. And that moment I became a victim. That was my first moment of victimhood. And from there on, that victimhood continued to play out in my life for a very, 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 very long time. Till, of
Mm.
course, 2012, bam, cancer, exploration, and now I get it. So now
Mm.
I'm like connecting the dots, and I have peace in my universe. I love my parents, and I'm truly grateful for them.
Of
Right?
course.
I couldn't have said this before, but I can say this from the depths of my heart today because I understand. So what happened? That whole sense of victimhood, that whole sense of abandonment, and everything eventually has all turned into love and gratitude. So that's what happens when you forgive, when you truly understand that there is something going on beyond what you can see at a physical level. Your hatred, your anger of that person is just a facade. There's more here for your growth, for your healing. And if you can start going beyond the physical appearance, then there's huge amount of healing and growth and love available to you.
Super. Super. My God. We can continue talking to you, I think, till the cows come home. But one last question. Any message for the caregivers?
Yes.
Because there are some caregivers in this call today.
Yeah. Excuse me. So I have a message for caregivers, and that is that when you are giving care to somebody who's going through cancer, the tendency is to feel horrible, feel bad,
Mm.
that poor thing. And, it's very difficult to see your loved ones suffering. I know that because I've also been a caregiver. Both my parents passed due to cancer. My mom had a longer journey, like about 4.5, 5 years. My dad had a very short journey. God bless. 5 months of, within 5 months of diagnosis, he was gone. So I have been at the caregiving end and I know what that's like. So we tend to see, our loved ones as, oh my God, poor thing, suffering. Now I have learned to see everybody who's going through as an infinite being who is very capable of, transformation and growth through this experience. And I know that life is working for them and not against them. They're not victims. So please see them as powerful, infinite beings who are capable of healing, right?
Wow.
Now, healing can occur only at emotional level or spiritual level or mental level, or it can also occur at a physical level. It can occur at all levels, right? So, and it's not necessary that it can occur at physical level. Sometimes it's just happening at an emotional and spiritual level, and you may not end up seeing the physical healing because it's way far gone at a physiological level. But you
Correct.
never know because the divine intelligence knows how. So it all depends on, how in harmony are you with that vision of a healed body. So hold your loved one with a vision of seeing them as vibrant, healthy, energetic, no matter what the fact looks like. Don't
Correct.
make fact, like, don't defend a fact. Oh, but the doctor said this, right? Don't defend the fact, defend the truth that this person is a divine being, and the divine intelligence within this being is very powerful and bigger than the cancer. So
Yeah.
please look at them as empowered people and not as victims. That's my thing. And the other thing that I would say is, for your own self as a caregiver, you need to look after yourself too.
Yeah.
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 So don't make things significant. I know it's very disturbing and all of that. I get it. I'm not saying be indifferent, insensitive. But what I'm saying is, hold a space of love for yourself and for that person. Take time out. Don't feel guilty for taking time out.
Yeah.
Seek help. Ask a friend, ask a relative. Can you come in? Can you
Yes.
babysit? Right? Can you be around?
Yeah.
Or ask for help. Can you run an errand for me? Can you go get my groceries? Like recently, my daughter was traveling for a school trip to France, and me being in a very difficult situation,
Mhm.
recovering from very intense bout of chemo, I have not been going out, and I was not in a position to go out to shop for her. And so, by chance, my sister was visiting, and I said, "Hey, can you take her shopping?" You
Correct.
know. Then another friend of mine, in fact, Nena, she's here. I said, Nena, suddenly I realized that they weren't able to buy one or two particular things. I said, Nena, can you please run and get me this?
Mm.
So you
Mm.
seek help, take help. There's no harm in taking help. So caregivers, take all the help that you can get.
Yes.
Okay. And take that little break to get a facial or get a massage done. Whether you're a man or a woman, take a break, right?
Correct.
Do something that you love, do something that you energize, because you need to energize yourself. If you are
Absolutely.
not energized, what are you going to bring to the table? So you matter too. So don't
Yeah.
make the patient the end all of your life then. Look after yourself as well. It's extremely important at a physical level, at an emotional level, at a mental level. Listen to music, do, whatever you want to do, whatever brings you more life.
Correct.
Please do it. Look after yourself. That's what I
As
would say.
as they say, right? Wear your oxygen mask first. Otherwise, you won't be there to put the oxygen mask for the others.
Yeah.
So, as Smriti, we'll have to, yeah, take a little break here. Maybe
Yes, absolutely.
open up
And
for,
thank you once again.
yeah, thank you. Open up for questions. But before we do that, because some people might leave, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the uh, things that we do. Uh, with your permission, why am I here? I don't know. Anyway, so for just to keep you updated, we are going to have these future webinars on mindfulness, forgiveness, self-love, art therapy on digital decluttering and setting intentions. This is what's planned for the rest of the year. We have regular programs on WhatsApp on gratitude. Like Smriti said, I do a 10-minute chanting of the Bhagavad Gita every alternate day. Then we have a self-love journey to go through, reflection journey, book readings. We do book readings. There's a journaling play shop. My colleague here, Sanjukta, she does that. And we have other online play shops. We call play shops and not workshops because we don't want it to be work. It's like, not play entirely, but yeah,
I
on
love that.
on deservability, maintaining boundaries, loving your body, forgiveness, the great thing that Smriti just talked about. And the programs in the pipeline to have a daily morning practice, to have listening circles, a support group for cancer, a 10-week play shop on self-love online because not many people can travel, and retreats, which we do often. We did a couple of them last year, and we plan to do them this year as well on self-love, which is basically a holistic well-being thing. The immediate program that we have is a retreat for cancer thrivers. Thrivers are those, who have, as Riti's been talking about in the last half an hour, people who are willing to see cancer as a transformative experience. It's scheduled for the 11th to 15th of July at the Hidden Oasis in Pune. And again, we use the holistic approach as we do with any program at Joy Hamesha. These are my coordinates. You can take a screenshot of this. The best way to connect with me is through WhatsApp. That's the number 9769255585. Okay, so we are open to questions. Anybody who wants to ask a question, just raise your hand and unmute yourself. Anything. Yeah, Sanjukta, go ahead. Sanjukta, you're muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Smriti.
Hi, Sanjukta.
Hi.
And I also want to give out a shout out to my Masi,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Neelam Dhamija. She's here. She's joined us, and
Lovely. Lovely.
it's wonderful to have you, Masi.
Welcome, Mas. Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead.
Sanjukta, tell me. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So I kind of, I mean, a lot of what you said resonated with me. Also, I'm a cancer survivor myself of 6 years now. One thing I have felt on and off, and I want to share with you and know if you feel the same thing, is that, you get deep into understanding yourself, understanding how the universe works, the things that you are talking. Do you at some level sometimes feel disconnected to people because of that? Like, do you find making connections a little more difficult now that you see life in a very different perspective, you know?
No, it's the opposite. The connections are way more different. Like,
Mhm.
it's like you just embrace everybody.
Right.
And it's easier, in fact, to make connections.
Mm.
Yes, like I said, when I come back from a treatment, I want my solitude. I don't
Yeah.
want to talk in that moment because
Mm.
I'm recovering, I'm resting, and I
Mm.
need that space. But otherwise, I want to now connect with everybody
Right. Yeah.
and let them know that, listen, you are phenomenal. You do not know what power you are.
Correct.
So I don't find it difficult, very honestly.
Yeah.
But I think I resonate a little bit with what Sanjukta says. When we are on that journey, it becomes difficult when others are not on that journey to, connect with them sometimes.
Mm.
So that's part of the process,
Yeah,
I guess.
it could
Yes.
be, and I do not deny it.
Mm.
But I'll tell you what happens now for me is that when you recognize that you are love and your practice is that of love,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying I don't have my moments when I'm irritated or something like that, or I've lost my cool, very rare, but yeah, uh, it's more impatience, really, nothing else. But when you are being love, without communication, also you're contributing to people
Mm.
all the time because you know who you are and you are being it. So there is no way that you're not impacting people around you. Uh, it's not going to happen. That connection doesn't break. So you're way more connected than ever before. So it's not just words. Like you can be talking and I may not agree with you because
Mm.
now I know something different, but I know that what you know is your truth in this moment from where you are in your journey. And I
Mm.
honor that. I embrace that because I know that that is your truth in this moment. So I don't find it hard. You get it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I mean, I, I think you definitely don't approach people with any sense of judgment about who they are. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. So then it's not difficult to connect. No,
Yeah. Let's hope.
you and I may not be speaking the same language,
True.
but you and I are still both children of God, and we are both still here to love, and we are still here to collaborate. And
Correct.
that doesn't then go away from your awareness.
Super. Thank you.
Mm.
Jyoti, you had a question. You had unmuted yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Jyoti.
Hi. I just want to ask you, Smriti, you said 11 years ago you got the first, you you were introduced to cancer. Let's use a positive thing. You were introduced to cancer. Which part of your body were you affected with? And
All right. Hmm.
you know,
And
and 11 years have passed, and you're doing very well. You've got a very cheerful personality, and you take it in your
Yes.
stride. So I just wanted to hear that part also.
so 2012 was breast cancer. It was in situ, so it was cool, lumpectomy, 36 cycles of radiation, 5 and a half years of oral chemo. Then I kind of got a little bit of a break. I was like, yay. And like within a month or I was told that there's cancer all over my stomach area. So they had to do something called like a debulking surgery, where they remove the spleen, the gallbladder, the appendix, the uterus, the ovaries. They scrape part of the liver. They scrape the entire stomach lining. They scrape part of the diaphragm, and so that was my surgery, right? And then within a few months, it moved into lungs, and it became like filled. Like it was not like one tumor, two tumors. There were like multiples of tumors. So technically, since 2018, I am a fourth stage person, technical diagnosis. 2019, when it moved into lungs, the doctors didn't give me any more hope. And and of course, all they could offer me was treatment, because the tumors that were there are basically two in a million, so it's very rare, and that form of cancer has no clinical trials available. I'm not eligible for immunotherapy, so the only option I have is chemo and target therapy. And very recently I have refused chemo. I've said I'm not doing it anymore, and I'm done, and I'm good. So that's where I am at this point of time. So for 11 years, I probably just had 3 or 4 months when I didn't take a chemo drug. But otherwise, I've either been on chemo or target, but something or the other. I've been on continuous treatment. I get into hospital every 3 weeks. Lately, I was getting in every 2 weeks. But now that I've said no to chemo, I'm going to get in every 3 weeks just for target therapy. And so that's my journey. So there's not been like any time, when I've had a break. And I've been isolated for 4.5 years now. First due to COVID, and now post COVID, because there's still COVID and there's so much drug in the body that your immunity is like supposed to have been gotten blasted. But let me tell you that with all the work that I'm doing, and even though I was told that this is not going to go away ever, this is like your life till you die. Uh, I mean, they're surprised. My doctor said that 85% of the fact that you're still alive is credit to you with the work that you do. And I do very powerful work. And so that's why the energy levels, the smile and everything. But what was I saying? Yeah, but that's like it's been a very, very, like, if I use Anamika's word, arduous journey. There have been hell moments and tough moments, but just leaning in to that divine intelligence within me, and leaning into my team. We all have spirit guides and our higher self, and connecting with them and taking that power, taking that strength, asking, praying for courage. Prayer has been my base.
Yeah.
So I pray. So that's been my journey, Jyoti.
So prayers have been your medicine, actually.
Absolutely.
And your positive attitude. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I finished 5.5 years. I'm going to be 6 years old in October, 2017, October I am. But I'm good. I think your case was very similar to mine when you were just now relating to it, because I've had my ups and downs. And I think since 2021, like they say, you go to your mother's place. My Maike has been the hospital. So I'm happy to go there, get myself charged, and I'm continuing. That's
Jyoti, my invitation to you is, please do not make this your identity.
No.
Cancer is not your identity. Yeah?
Yeah. No, yeah. By and large, I'm a very cheerful person, positive person. I think that helped me. And I just say that, ठीक है, वो अपना काम करे, मैं अपना काम करती हूँ. So I'm not really, I don't have any negative, I don't even think about it. Yeah. So
wonderful. Wonderful. More power to you, Jyoti.
Thank you. Thanks, Anamika. I just want to tell everyone that, forgiveness is okay. But if you don't like somebody and you think that person is hurting you, it's better to move away from that person. I would say that from my own experience. It gave me a lot of peace.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll
Thanks,
have
Anamika.
we'll have a session on forgiveness. That's a whole realm altogether,
Yeah.
a different realm altogether.
Absolutely.
And you're right, it is difficult sometimes to do that. But for our peace, we need to do that. So we are at the end of the 1 hour. Thank you so much, Smriti, for being here and sharing your insights. It's always very motivating to talk to you. I'm just blessed that I know you so intimately. I mean, intimately in the sense, yeah. So
Thank you so much.
we meet at the various occasions, and as you said, you're now in isolation, so we haven't met for some time.
Yep.
But online is good enough. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you everybody for being here, and good night to. I think most of you are from India. If not, good day. Have a great life.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, Anamika, for having me, and thank you everybody for your time.
And,
God bless.
and Anamika, I'm looking forward to such sessions again, and Smriti, hope to see you again soon.
Sure.
Absolutely.
God bless.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you. All the best.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.